Hey everybody, welcome to Jacob's Quest, and today I think I got something pretty goddamn interesting. This is a brand new page from the recently released Star Wars Archives Episode 1 through 3, the Prequels edition. And if you don't know what those are, these are the archive books that actually tell a whole bunch of behind the scenes information, stuff that you really can't find in many other places. You'll see some stuff in like the art of books and stuff like that, but these archives are like really in-depth deep dives into the smallest of details, really obscure things that you can't really find anywhere else. And this was just posted to Reddit. George Lucas wanted Maul as the big bad guy of the sequels. This is from the new book Star Wars Archives episodes 1 through 3, the prequels, with new interviews from Lucas. So we're going to read this and then we're going to talk about the history of this. Okay, so it says Darth Maul trained a girl, Darth Talon, who was in the comic books as his apprentice. She was the new Darth Vader, and most of the action was with her. So these were the two main villains of the trilogy. Maul eventually becomes the godfather of crime in the universe because as the Empire falls, he takes over. The movies are about how Leia, I mean, who else is going to be the leader, is trying to build the Republic. They still have the apparatus of the Republic, but they have to get it under control from the gangsters. That was the main story. It starts out a few years after Return of the Jedi, and we establish pretty quickly that there's this underworld. There are these offshoot stormtroopers who started their own planets, and that Luke is trying to restart the Jedi. He puts the word out, so out of 100,000 Jedi, maybe 50 or 100 are left. The Jedi have to grow again from scratch, so Luke has to find 2- and 3-year-olds and train them. It'll be 20 years before you have a new generation of Jedi. By the end of the trilogy, Luke would have rebuilt much of the Jedi, and we would have the renewal of the New Republic, with Leia, Senator Organa, becoming the Supreme Chancellor in charge of everything, so she ended up being the chosen one. Okay, so that is supposedly an excerpt from this book, and that is supposedly a quote from Lucas. I do kind of wish that they had taken a better picture of this. Maybe, I don't know if there's like more to this, and this is just kind of an out of context little piece, but we do have some history with this. Okay, so here is a good website. This is called Medium. Okay, this is, I think anyone can post here, I think. This poster here, Andrew G., he put this really in-depth piece together where he has links and sources to everything that he puts in here, and it's all about George Lucas's original outlines and him working with Michael Arndt NDT, it says Arndt, anyways, writing the scripts before it eventually became The Force Awakens, with J.J. Abrams becoming involved. And it's really fascinating stuff. I will put a link to this in the video below. But the reason we're here today, and as I'm scrolling, you can actually see a lot of stuff that ended up becoming The Last Jedi, and obviously this character here ended up becoming Rey. A lot of these images are from the art of The Force Awakens, so this is all really early stuff when George Lucas was still involved. But the thing that we're actually going to go look at in a moment, so, and there you go, a very Last Jedi looking Luke. Here, let's keep scrolling. Right here. Okay, so here's the interesting bit about this. A character similar to Darth Talon, a red-skinned Twi'lek from the Star Wars Legacy comic series, known for seducing one of Luke Skywalker's descendants to the dark side, making a curious amount of appearances in early concept art. Interestingly enough, George Lucas was known to be fond of the design, asking game development studio Redfly to include her in their Darth Maul game just before the time he likely started thinking about the sequel trilogy. Yeah, you can go look it up. There was a Darth Maul game that got pretty far, and it was gonna have Darth Talon in there, and there's actually footage of George Lucas putting the two statues together saying like, look, they're friends. Anyways, Pablo Hidalgo has confirmed that a Darth Talon-like character was in George's plans at some point, acting at the orders of a greater power codenamed Uber. She seduced the son of Han and Leia to the dark side. Okay, so what we're seeing here is the codename Uber. Essentially what we're getting a confirmation of is that that was going to end up being Darth Maul. is this Uber character. And basically, you know, through Michael Arndt leaving and JJ coming in and Lawrence Kasdan and them kind of almost starting from scratch, but still taking some inspiration here, that eventually became Snoke instead of Darth Maul. So you can kind of see how the story evolved from this, you know, to that, right? So this seems to pretty much clinch the fact that yes, Darth Maul, Darth Talon, that was all going to be a thing, at least at some point. Now here's some more interesting stuff. Of course, we can see that J.J. Abrams got involved in November of 2013, or at least that's when he started talking about Michael Arndt's departure. Now here's what I wanted to show you guys, and here's like an even more fascinating thing about this that kind of like adds more to the story. Michael Arndt, he was announced to be the hired writer for episode 7 on November 10th of 2012. Okay, now obviously, you know, the deals and all the signings kind of start a few weeks before that. This is just when it got announced to the public. Okay, so November of 2012. Guess what was going on the air that same year? The episode called Brothers of Clone Wars aired on March 9th of 2012. That is the episode of Clone Wars that essentially confirmed the revitalization of Darth Maul, that Darth Maul is alive, and that started his whole plot line, which, if you remember in Clone Wars, he essentially just, you know, became head of the gangsters, and that whole plot line carried through. So it definitely feels like around the same exact time in 2012, when that whole thing in Clone Wars was playing out with Darth Maul, Michael Arndt was hired to start working with George Lucas about the screenwriting, and it definitely feels like it was all part of the plan at some point. This was going to become this, and it was all happening during this. So yeah, that's really goddamn fascinating. When I first saw this, I saw someone post this, I was like, oh, Darth Maul was going to be involved in The Force Awakens. I didn't believe it. I didn't believe it at all. I was like, no, come on, that's someone made that up. But actually, when you look into it, I'm like, oh shit, no, it was going to happen. So yeah, look, I know that the George Lucas outlines is something that everyone wants to know about. Everyone wants to find all the small details. Again, I will link this page in the description down below, because this kind of gives you the full picture, at least, of what the general idea was. So this, along with this brand new image, kind of gives you a bigger scope of everything. But goddamn, that's fascinating. Of course, Darth Maul died in Rebels, which was created in, I think that episode aired like in 2015, maybe 2016, I don't know. When they finally killed off Darth Maul, I think for good, maybe. So it definitely, you know, they're not gonna bring him back as a threat later on in the future. At least that doesn't seem to be the plan right now. But yeah, it really is interesting that this was in some parallel universe. This is what we got. We got Darth Talon working for a secret character who would then turn out to be Darth Maul. Very interesting stuff. Let me know what you guys think. And I understand if some of you are like even more mad now. They're like, oh, we should have gotten that. I get it. But you know, we always feel that way. There's you can look up a million things about Star Wars that we never got, and you'll just be mad about it forever. So just take this as a cool thing that could have happened. It's a cool idea. Maybe one day they'll release a comic book about it. They kind of released this comic that was about the original drafts of the first Star Wars. I don't see why they couldn't come out with like a what if comic book about the George Lucas plans and Darth Maul and all this stuff. So anyways, let me know what you guys think, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.